Good morning, everybody. I know what you're thinking. I wonder where he's been. Well, the thing is, I've had a bit of a health scare a couple of weeks ago. Well, coming up for 2 weeks ago. 10 days ago, actually. And yeah, so I've had to take some time out, and I'm going to have to take some time out to sort of reevaluate life and all of that sort of stuff, and what I've been doing. I've been overworking, really, to be honest with you, and not looking after myself. And it's time to take stock because I had a bit of a health scare. I won't go into it, but suffice it to say, I need to sort my act out and sort the situation that I'm in at the moment. I'm not going to get into it, as I say. You'll be bored to tears anyway. But I'm going to try and get some videos up and keep that going, keep the vlog going for you. Because there's lots to do. There's been lots of harvesting. There's been some planting. There's been all kinds of bits and bobs since I last saw you. So yeah. I hope you've not been too worried at anything about us, but that's what I've been. That's what I've been doing. And anyway, on with the show. All right, I'll see you at the end. Ta-da! So we're clearing the beds out, and there were 6 clusters of beetroot in this bed. I've just took 4 out now, and I've left with the remaining 2 clusters. So the cluster planted these is about I don't know, 8 or 10 per cluster. Right, so you don't get the big beetroots, but if you leave them long enough, you get a nice size, sort of a golf ball, maybe even a little bit bigger size of beetroots, of beets. Now you can eat the good leaves as well, although they have got oxalic acid in them. So because my kidneys are not fantastic, I'm not eating the leaf at the moment off these. So I'm just going to take the beets, and we're going to get them boiled up and pickled up. We'll eat some fresh with some salt, a little bit of salt and butter, and we'll pickle the rest of them. But I've got to get some pickling vinegar, so I might have a mooch and get some pickling vinegar as well in a sec. But I'll take them out, wash them, and I'll show you what we've got from this bed. This bed had spinach, beetroot, and it had also cauliflower and broccoli. So you had cauliflower and broccoli down there, 6 plants, 3 of each in the middle. And then at the sides we have the spinach, which we ate all the spinach, and then we've got the beetroot, and then the bed will be cleared. Then I'll just de-weed it, and then we're ready for rocking and rolling again. I'll put some more bloodfish and bone in, a bit of 6X, mix it all into the mix, and that bed will be ready for the next batch of whatever I decide to put in it. Alright, but we'll get the beets out and I'll show you what we've got. Right, let's see what we have got from our beetroot harvest. So this is 6 cluster planted beets. I suspect we'll get about 45-ish out of those, but we'll see. What's lurking in the murky depths? There's one. Two. I won't carry on doing that because it'll bore you to tears. But I'll get them all out and we'll see what we've got. I'll count them as we go. Now either I'm an exceptionally good guesser, or I am psychic and have Jedi powers. But there are exactly 45 beetroots of various sizes. Now, some are like that sort of size, little itty bitties, and some are much bigger than that, like that size. But they'll all be nice and sweet, them, and unwoody. So they'll be just the perfect sort of flavour, and those ones. There's some Cylindra in there, which are these ones, more of a cylindrical shape, and there's the I think that's the Bolt Hardy 3 or something, Bolt Hardy 3 or something like that, them ones, the globe ones. But we have a bit of a mixed bag there of beets, and I don't think that's bad. That'll be good. That'll fill about 4 big jars, that. of beetroot. That'll do. That'll do, pig. Now I've got some weeding to do. So only about 5 minutes worth of work there, just to weed that out, and then I'll prepare the soil again for replanting. So I'll get on with that. Let's get weeding. So they're all out now, the beetroots. It's time to weed, isn't it? So I've got to get all those weeds out and then reinvigorate that bed. So let's crack on. So that's been weeded, it's been hoed, and it's been massaged with my own fair hands. And you can see it's a nice crumbly mix, that, but it is a bit claggy. So underneath that, it's quite compacted. So what I am going to do is, when I put the top dressing of the fresh bag of compost on top of it, I'm going to mix it in first. I'm going to mix in some vermiculite first into it, just to loosen that soil a bit, and then I'll top off the last inch or two with that. So I'm going to mix it in this barrow here. Okie doke. So I'm just doing a pH test on that, and as you can see, it's just slightly, very slightly acidic, which is fine. That's going to be alright, that. Don't need to add any more lime into that. That's about right, really, for growing your leafy greens. They need it slightly acidic anyway, really, to be honest. Now, because we're just putting onions and beets in there, neutral's fine for those. So happy days, no amendments needed as regards to the pH balance, the acidity and the alkaline balance. So that's okay. It's always worth a check though. They're not very expensive. It's about £7.99, I think it was, for that. And you can check the moisture as well. Turn it on to the moisture. As you can see there, it is quite damp. So no major issues, but the soil is a bit claggy, and I want to make it so it's more free draining. So if you look there, there's it's going to be about 25%, or probably about 20% of the coarse vermiculite stuff. So that's going into the barrow. I'm going to then mix in the compost with that, some 6X and some bone meal. Okay. So about 1 kilo per metre is what I add in. If you look at that, that's 4 foot by 6 foot, and that equates to about 2¼ metres square, something like that. So around 2¼ kilograms. And I'm working that out as being probably about 5 handfuls into the mix. So that's what I'm going to put in now. It's concentrated farmyard manure stuff. Very rich. It smells of the farm as well, that. So I'm going to get that into the mix and then put the compost in with it, give it a thorough working through, and then top it off with that. There's your vermiculite and your 6X mixed. That's all mixed in there. I'm just going to put in now a full bag of that 75 litre bag of the pole green compost. Now, because I don't have any bone meal on its own, I've got some blood fish and bone there. It's going to be quite a strong old mix, this, really, but it should produce some vibrant vegetables, shouldn't it? So there's blood fish and bone there. I'm going to put ½ kilo per metre, so just over 1 kilo of that stuff into that. So that now is a supersonic mix, but it's far too rich. It'll blow the plants' heads off unless I dilute it with that stuff. It should make up to about 100 litres, because there's 75 litres there, probably 25 litres there of the amendments. And there we go. So there'll be 100 litres going on to that, and that should more or less top off that bed with a good rich mix ready for our beautiful new plants to go in it. I reckon that'll be a fantastic spinach and beetroot bed, that. With the addition of the manure, it's actually sent the acidity up a little bit. It's about 6.6, 6.7 now. I don't know if you can see that. Is it reflecting badly or something? I can't tell. 6.6, 6.7. on the pH, which has increased the acidity slightly, and it'll do them no harm, that. So I think that'll be a great spinach and beetroot bed, and that's what we're going to put in there. Sorry about the wind again, guys, but we'll crack on. Now I'm going to put this beetroot down the middle. There's 12 plants there, and there's only 11 plants there because one of them didn't germinate of the spinach. There's a bit of a bugger. So I'll have 11 spinach plants and I'll have 12 beetroot plants. So the beetroot's down the middle and the spinach around the outside, because the spinach actually bushes out, and it bushes out quite vigorously. Certainly in here it should do. And I'll just keep taking leaves off them, probably on a bi-nightly basis. Every other night we're taking the leaves off and thinning them out and having stir fries or soups or whatever with them. I'm going to be using it. I like spinach because spinach is the gift that keeps giving, and you can keep re-sowing it and getting further spinach. Unlike the brassicas, I mean, if you look at that broccoli over there, there's plenty of leaf on it, so that's fine. But once you get the broccoli off, if you're lucky, you might get some side shoots, but once you take the head of broccoli off, you don't tend to get more broccoli. Or if you do, it'll be like weedy little specimens that sprout from the side. But I've left it on there for another week. That I've took the head off that about 10 days ago, and I'm just leaving the leaf on because the leaf's in nice condition. There's no butterflies got to it or slugs as yet. But that's the bed, if you remember, that we put the slug pellets in, and we put the sheep's wool pellets around the bases and the fly collars on and all of that like in there. And it served its purpose. It's done the job. So yeah, we'll crack on. Right, so here's a couple of beds, rejigged and replanted. So I found some more spinach that I'd hidden it under there. When I was looking before, I sat over there and I was looking in at the what do you call it, broccoli leaves. I spotted them underneath there, and I must have took the tray out, put it underneath there to plant, and forgot about them. So they're a bit straggly. But that's the spinach. I bet it's been in there 2 weeks, actually, tucked underneath there. So you never know, it might come back, it might not come back, but it's a shame just to tip them off, innit? So I'm going to leave them and see how they go. I think they're bolting already, but I hate throwing plants away. All the beetroots down there, put fresh beetroots in there. These again were old beetroot starts that were tucked underneath there. I'm a silly get me. I should have planted them out I think it's because the beds were full at the time, and so I put them in there with the intention of emptying the bed and then putting the new plants in, but didn't do. There's the onions, some onions in, and as I say, spinach and beetroots in that one. Now hopefully, fingers crossed, in about 3 or 4 weeks time, that'll be chock-a-block full with vegetables, with leaf and the starts of beetroot. The beetroot's probably going to take about another 8 weeks to come through and produce decent sized beets from that stage. That's 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks old as it is from seed, and then it's got another sort of 8 weeks to mature on. But the spinach, I'll bet you in about 2 or 3 weeks time we'll be pulling heaps of spinach off that. Lots and lots of spinach. And of course you can eat the beet leaf, so I might sacrifice some of that beet leaf and have that as a salad leaf as well. This all the lettuce is sort of blowing now, so the lettuce has got to come out too. I'm gonna have to find a home for that. Probably feed it to the chickens. It's a pity Julia's not closer. She could have all that for the chickens. That's the trouble with lettuce. It's so easy to grow. You get so much in it, then you can't eat it. You know, I've got to think more, me, and get some more successional stuff growing on. Maybe start like 3 lettuces at a time, you know, and then the next week put some 3 more in, or leave it a fortnight, put 3, because you'll take a lettuce and that lettuce will probably last you 3 days. You can't have too much salad, can you? So a full lettuce like that will last the family 3 days. And so all the rest of the stuff goes to waste unless you can find a home for it and give it away, which we have been doing. We've been giving it to my sister and giving it to my mother and what have you. But I've got plenty of beds. There's another bed spur there. There's a bed spur there. There's that new bed that I've created there. So I'm thinking probably we're going to be getting more beans and pulses in. That's what I think. We're going to be getting beans and pulses, which means I'm going to set those hoops off there and get the beans in. Got this one here. This is an ideal bean bed as well. So I'm thinking broad beans, like get broad beans in. And peas and climbing French and dwarf French, that kind of thing. Get those planted in from seed. Get the seeds in now at this stage. Right, anyway, let's get off. Let's get some cucumbers and tomatoes. I think so. Let's go for that. So I took a load off this yesterday. This station of 6 sun, well, there's 4 sun gold and there's 2 sweet 100, super sweet 100. I've knocked one off there and it landed. It's landed in there, but I've given it the nettle feed and I don't want to dig that out because it will stink. So that's one that's been lost. But there's plenty on there. I'll fill a tub with those ones for a nice salad. I've just took this cucumber off here. I've been thinning out as well, so as the branches come and start to interfere with each other, I'm just trimming them down a little bit so it's not as rampant, the growth. There's a sucker there I need to take out. It's not got anything on it. We'll take that out. Let me get my scissors. Here they are. So there. Ah! All these little suckers, I'm just taking them out as I'm finding them. You can see there's one there. Just check them out as I'm pinching them out. And I've headed them all off now, so they won't grow any higher than that. I've took the lead stem off from each, so they won't go any bigger. They'll just fill out now and hopefully produce all the fruit. All the energy then will be concentrated into producing the fruit that we've got on there, getting these flowers. Once they're germinated, we'll get further fruits from them, hopefully. But the fruit is it's coming out on the vines all over the place. These are the Italian yellow pear ones that we thought were sun gold, but are actually Italian yellow pear. From sets that Mick had started off. Mick Derbyshire at Old Mac Darby's farm had started off and gave to us. But they're definitely the Italian yellow pear, those. So, as you can see again, there's plenty on them. Well, there's plenty on these here. So, happy days. Let's talk about cucumbers, weren't there? There's one of the cucumbers I've just taken off from that one. I've got 2 cucumber plants in here, Telegraph I think they are. I've just spotted there's another one down there, and check him out as well. It's curling off at the bottom. We'll check him as well. So I'll just gently pull him off. There you go. Couple of cukes. We'll check up at the top greenhouse as well, because I've not checked in there for a day or two. I bet there's 1 or 2 on that one up there at the top. Yep, I wasn't wrong. These cucumber plants have been the gift that just keeps giving. I've just took another 2 there. That brings us up to 21, 22. I might leave that one. I'll take that one though, because that's a good size. Yeah, that's about a 11 inch, 12 inch, something like that. So I've got 3 more cucumbers there, so that takes us to 22 cucumbers we've had so far, and they've all been of that kind of size and bigger, really. If you look at the back catalogue, there's 3 more there. So yeah, they're still looking not too bad. We're getting a bit of this yellowing going on, so I might take some leaves out, this yellow spotting, and see how they get on. Because it's spreading its wings a bit this now, so I'm either going to run it upwards outwards and then nip it out, because I don't want it shading out these plants too much, because the Corno di Toro Rosso, those ones, and at the moment we haven't got any flower on them. We've been afflicted by these little flies, and I have had to spray them with the Prevento, which is not what I like to do really, but it's either that or we don't get any fruit off them. These are the Apache. I'm getting some Apache coming on. Chili peppers. So yeah, I just hope that the fly don't destroy them. Got a bit of space here as well. Don't know what to do with that. Whether to put some stuff in there, put a plant in there, maybe one of the sun golds. That's where the big, well, whatever it was, the triffid thing that was supposed to be one of those milk melons, took that out because it was just like a bloody courgette or something. We were conned. And that's the Melba melon, which I took off the deck and I'm running across. Just to see if it'll do anything. It might do. Got some... We'll see. We'll see how we get on. Some Melba melon, that one. That's going to get a watering and a feeding shortly. Is that there a spider's nest? Okay. Let's see what we can get harvested tomato-wise. So yeah, about £1/2 pound of tomatoes there. Little sun golds and 2 nice cucumbers and a smaller one there. So that's not too bad, is it? 5 minutes work. I'm going to do a potato tip out, I think, because we've got all these onions here that are curing off nicely. And I fancy doing a soup. So I'm going to do an onion, a bit of garlic, some potatoes, and some kale, I think. So I'm going to collect the ingredients for that right now. Okie dokie. I'm going to take some of the leaf from the cauliflower. Brassica leaves you can eat. So I'm going to take some of that with me and throw that into the soup. They weren't really coming to anything, those cauliflowers. They were like little heads, I'll show you in a minute. But I've took the heads off. I'm going to take the leaf as well, or some of the leaf, the good leaf, and add that to the soup. So we'll do that, along with some more of the kale. I'll take some kale leaves as well and add that to the mix. Got some carrots back at our place as well, so they're going to go in. It's going to be probably about 8 or 9 different vegetables going into this soup, so it should be very nutritious. So I've picked off some red cabbage leaf and some of the cauliflower leaf there. That's going to go into the soup, as well as some peas. So I've just been along the row there and pulled off some more peas. We've probably had about 450, 500 pea pods off that so far, off that row. And we've got more peas coming. I'm growing more peas as well over the back end. And in that little, oh hang on, sorry about the wind. That little setup as well there, you can see there's some peas coming on that. I've took a few off here as well this morning. They were just chucked in. The mice had loads of them, but some of them have come through in and amongst the bindweed that you can see there. But yeah, nice peas. Onward peas then. Onwards and upwards. So they're going in there. Now for the potato tip out, I'm going to choose a bucket and see what we've got. We need about 6 or 7 decent potatoes for the soup. So I'm just going to grab one of these buckets from over here and do a tip out. What do we think? That's a home guard, that one. Home guard. Have we got an Ulster? We'll never know. The rain's washed it off, so I'm thinking that's an Ulster Prince. I'm pretty sure. But I'll see what we've got, eh? We'll have a tip out. So there's a 14-inch bucket of the Home Guard, 1 potato in, 1 seed potato. and one seed potato in the 10-inch Asda bucket of what we believe to be Ulster Prince. Let's have a see. Alright, I'll chop these all back and then we'll do a tip out. So that's the home guard. I've took the top growth off and any little weeds, any baby weeds that might have been knocking around, because we're going to reuse the compost obviously. But we'll do a tip out, eh? Let's see what we've got. One-handedly. Right. Oh, well, we've got a few spuds there, and a worm. Look at that big wiggly worm there. A few worms knocking around in that. Okay. Slug or two as well, cheeky monkey. Right, let's see what we've got. I'll dig into that. Let me just get another bucket to put the spuds in. Right, that's our little spud container. Let's have a break into this and see what... Sorry, Mr. Worm. I'll be gentle. I bet these lot have been into the seed potato, I'll bet. Yeah, we got rid of the seed potato for us. I believe this was done with blood, fish and bone. This one. The home guards. There's a little baby one. Get shut to that one. Oh yeah, not too bad, are they? Not too bad. Oh, let's get me a little pot. Might need a bigger pot at this rate. I'm not so keen on that. I don't know about it. A bit of scab in it. Not too bad though. Shake that out. Little one there. So yeah, these are called Home Guard, this particular variety. Only one potato in to the mix. And that was on the 29th of March this year that these went in. The little baby ones, we'll get rid of them. Have a bit of the root through, see if there's anything else. There's one. Oh, mostly around where the potato was, where the seed potato was, these ones. Kind of on the same level with it. You've got to be careful, obviously, when you tip the bucket out, that you don't leave any little baby potatoes in there, because once you put that onto your beds, you're going to get potatoes growing if you don't catch them all. And unless you want potatoes growing in that particular bed, you've scuppered yourself, haven't you? You made a monkey, you magged yourself off, son. There's a little one, well, nearly escaped. Okay, that's not so bad, about £1.50 I think there, about £1.50 of spuds from the bucket. And that's the Home Guard. So let's see, and it was in the 14-inch bucket, that one, the Home Guard one. Let's see what we've got in the Ulster Prince. So I'll do the same thing. I'll take the top foliage off and remove any little baby weeds that are knocking around. And I'll get back to you. Look at that little critter there. Excuse me. So I've got another similar sized pot there with the Ulster Prince. So let's have a look at him. Now this is the smaller pot, this is the 10-inch. The 10-inch pot, this one. I can see some wiggly worms and I can see a spud, at least one spud there. Right, let's see how these ones get on there. I'll just move this out the way. Put that there. And we'll start digging in. Shall we? Oh! That's what we like to see. That's the seed potato. Ooh. So we'll take him out, pop him in there. We'll see what we've got. The nice Ulster prints. And they're looking like they're relatively prolific. We'll see. We'll see. You see, it's relatively dry there down at the bottom, isn't it? The top stamp. I'm surprised because it's done nothing but rain these last few weeks. There's a cheeky slug. Probably been eating our bloody spuds. Take these out as we find. These little baby ones need to come out now, don't they? Let's give it a bit of a shake. Reveal your secrets. Reveal your potatoes. These little baby ones we're going to have to check out as we find them. Be right for that. Put that one in. So yeah, I think that's probably it for the Ulsters. I'd say about £1.25, less than the home guard. There's the Ulsters and there's the home guard. But I reckon altogether about £2.5 or something like that we've had out of them. But yeah, it's pretty dry around the base of them, isn't it? Around the bottom of the bucket. Have another root. Make sure I'm not. Ah, see? You always miss them. You always miss one or two. That's how we got the volunteers, that in the brassica bed. The volunteer potatoes. We got £3.5 out of that yesterday. Right, I think that's about right. So yeah, there's the 2 buckets worth. I'd say about £2.5. I've not got my scales with me here today, but what I will do is when I get back, I'll weigh them. Are we going to tell them apart? I'll tell you what, I'll stick that in with them. So I know that that's the Ulster prints and that's the home guard. Cool. We'll weigh them when we get back then. That's a new sort of like 5 foot by 5 foot bed that I've created in the middle of the long bed. So yeah, that's central really to the bushes. So we've got the blackcurrant bushes over there and the raspberry bushes here. Eventually it'll probably spread underneath that, but what I'm going to do is in the meantime I'm going to use that for vegetable growing. So anything that the cabbage whites don't particularly favour, I'm going to put into there. So I'm going to get some onions in there, and I'm also going to get some beetroots as well, because we like onions and we like beetroots, so that's what we're going to plant into there. And maybe shallots or something like that as well. It's just to utilise that middle ground space that we've got. So to top up that, we're going to use the potato compost. Add a bit of 6X in with it as well. 6X concentrated farmyard manure in with it, and top dress with that. And we'll get some planting done in there. As I've been tipping out the potatoes, I've just been chucking them into the beds just to top off the beds. Because there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the compost itself at all. Look at that seed. Weird. Nice and warm this. So yeah, I mean that's going to break down. It's going to reinvigorate the soil underneath it. Do it no harm, will it? So yeah, I'll do that, and then we can crack on and perhaps get home and get a soup made. I also want to boil up those beetroots, and with the beetroot, then we're going to pickle that. So I'll show you that as well. So the home guard there is about £1 6 ounces, knocking on. That's been torn, that. Oh yeah, you're right, Tony. We'll see what the Ulster prints are. And the Ulster prints are less than £1. About 15 ounces, we'll say, for the Ulster prints. So there we go. It's over £2 of spuds there. Last year we were getting £2 of potatoes out of each bucket. So it's not been a brilliant year for potatoes this year. I think the frost knocked them back, and that was a bit of a blow to them, really. It seems to have affected the growth quite a bit and the abundance of spuds. But there'll be enough there, and those are going to go in the soup. The home guard are going to go in the soup, and we're going to have them as nice little boiled potatoes, I think. Anyway, there we go. Right, so for our soup, we're going to have essentially potato, onion, the leafy greens, including the kale, red cabbage leaf, and even the cauliflower leaf. Peas, oh, getting a bit of a wind blowing there. These little cauliflower heads that I've just took off, and the garlic. So there's quite a bit of garlic. So we should be okay for vampires and get rid of those nasty little bloodsuckers. But yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different vegetables that are going to be going into that soup. I mean, you could even put in the beetroot, but I don't want to over egg the pudding. I think that should be sufficient, shouldn't it? You've got your alliums, you've got your pulses, your brassicas, and your tubers in there. I think that's fine, isn't it? It should be fine. We've also got all these beetroots. As I said, there's 45 beetroots of various sizes, the smallest being about that size and the largest round about that size. Got the 3 nice cucumbers, decent tomatoes there, a bit of lettuce. It's a lettuce head. And some more of the Ulster prints. They're just short of £1 of Ulster prints. But that's going to be our soup mix. So we're going to crack on with that. I'm going to get that done. I might even stick that on this video, because you've not seen me for quite some time, have you? Been about coming up for 2 weeks, so we'll make it a long one, eh? See you in a bit. So like I say, apologies for being away. I've just got to look after myself. I've got to sort my act out and look into all the various health problems and what have you, the rest of the carry on, and yeah. Come out the other end stronger, fitter, like the $6 million man, hopefully, and in a better position. It's taking stock, really. I've got to take stock of what I'm doing and what I want to do, and get that work-life balance sorted out again. No point earning a load of money if you're going to be the richest man in the graveyard. There's no pockets in shrouds, is there? At the end of the day, you've got to sort of enjoy your life. I think money's not everything, is it? But we do need, obviously, to get a certain amount of money in to pay our way and pay our bills and pay our mortgage and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll be all right. I work for a good company. It's just a lot of stress, and it's got on top of me, and I need to get that sorted out, and I'm sure we will. So, all right. Take care of each other and yourselves. And if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. This has been Goro Mafinda signing out. And remember, we love you all. Take care, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye now.